If I had a gun to my head and I had to hit 100k monthly listeners by the end of this year, this is exactly what I would do. And maybe first, who even am I? I'm a music producer and I've been producing for 8 years. I worked with dozens of independent artists, and this is just what I've seen working over the years. This is what the artists who actually succeeded are doing. And this is a simple 3-step framework. It's simple, but if I absolutely had to hit 100k monthly listeners by the end of this year, this is exactly what I would do. So let's get into the video. As you can see, we have those 4 steps here, but it's actually just a 3-step formula on how to hit 100k monthly listeners in the next 6 months. And the 4th point is actually the most important step I need you all to take, but more about that later. So first, before we even get to promotion, before we get to playlisting and content and everything, you really want to make sure that the foundation for your music is right and that you took care of the basics. And those are 3 steps that I think will ensure that the foundation you're making your music on is great. First one, and personally my favorite, is locking in with one producer with a team of producers that actually get your sound, get your style, and get your vision and know what you want to create. This FL Studio icon here represents producing yourself, and I'm gonna tell you why I think locking in with other producers is better than producing yourself, but just know that this is good too. But back to the original point, I think that having a producer or a team of producers is better because not only you get professional quality custom production made for you, for your voice and your style, but also you get an outside perspective on your music. And that's something we as artists often lack because we can only hear our music from our perspective, and sometimes other people can hear it differently. But yeah, this is the main point of this first step, just locking in your production and the quality of your production and the style of it. This YouTube icon here represents no type beats. You cannot be making music on type beats if you actually are serious about music, because type beats are not made for you. This is something that was made for sales, for views, and it doesn't have your identity. But okay, enough about that. You probably understand, like, this point is pretty self-explanatory. Just have good production, your unique custom production, and do not overuse online beats. And yeah, the second step is actually building your signature sound and branding, because you kind of need to think about your career like it's a business, and every business needs a brand. Or you can think of being an artist like having a personal brand, because at the core, this is what it really is. With one difference, when you hear personal brand, you probably think of content creation and people making reels or content on YouTube. In music, you have one way more powerful tool of branding, which is your sound. And this goes back to the first step, so custom production, also signature flows or lyrics. For example, if you see a Fake Mink's lyrics, you can tell that it's Fake Mink, like the way he structures his lyrics or the way he sings, the way he raps. It's all there, it's unique. Same with, for example, Frank Ocean, another artist that nailed this. When you see lyrics by Frank Ocean, you immediately know that it's him because it's so unique to him. And this is just something that will come to you with time you put into music. You're gonna get better at this and better all the time, but I think that this is actually the most crucial step in building your brand as an artist. Really nailing your sound, your lyrics, your flows, and your voice. So a vocal coach might be a good idea too. And now the half of branding that we don't like as much as the sound. So you actually need unique appearance. I saw this reel somewhere talking about artists having unique hairstyles and how important it is. Because as people, the first thing we see about a new person that we just saw for the first time is their hair. You can experiment with having weird hairstyles, unique hairstyles, something that will only be yours. For example, when you think of Tyler the Creator, at least I immediately see his Igor hairstyle, this weird fucking bowl cut. Or another great example of that is Oliver Tree, RIP Oliver Tree, but he was a goat at unique appearance and branding as an artist, and see how far he's come. Just look at his streams. This tells a lot about this point. And yeah, the last point here, so your own unique subgenre, goes back to custom production and signature sound. So if you pair a signature sound with high quality custom production and unique appearance, you can get to the third point, so actually promoting your music. And here I just wrote down some ideas for the content, because I think in content you can make as an artist, the most important thing is to show not only the music, but also the story behind it. So some ideas for content that are great for that, I think, are, for example, before or after mixing, or like behind the scenes, how you created a song, how you wrote a song. Tell a story about the lyrics. Just let the people know who you are and why you create music and how you create it. Because people do not only listen to music like actual WAV files, they also listen to the artist and the story that's behind the music. And here I also have two great examples of artists that are killing it with content. And the first one, I just saw his reels recently, and he's called Septorius. And the thing he nailed with content is he tied his music to a show. And basically all the fans of the show now love his music, and he's got like million streams on the song he was promoting, which is also great and like has a very unique sound. And as you can see, he has his unique hairstyle and appearance. So everything I talked about in this video is there. And yeah, you can try doing similar things. You can tie your music to a show if you feel like this is something similar, or you can really get creative with that and maybe find an art style, like actual visual art style that really feels like your music, and tie it to that. Maybe you also create visual art so you can really get into it. You can use clips of movies in your content, and you can, I don't know, the possibilities are endless. But the biggest takeaway from this, that he's showing his inspiration behind the music, so this show Entourage. And the way algorithm works, it just shows this content to other people who also have similar interests and inspirations. And if you like the show, there's a very high chance you're also gonna like the song he made. And that's how he's growing his fan base. And he literally got 1 million streams on this song, which I think is crazy, just from posting reels. But yeah, he's actually doing everything I said in this video, so that's kind of a proof that it works. And the second artist I think is killing it with content, maybe not so much now, but he used to do a lot of content. The second artist is Gunner. If you just started listening to Gunner this year or last year, where he really blew up, you may not know that, but he's been making YouTube videos, teaching other artists how to mix. He was selling his presets, and he was making just a lot of behind the scenes content, showing how he made a song. He was live streaming. That's something you can consider too, because then the relationship between your listener and you is just much stronger, because it's like a friend talking to a friend. So really check out those two guys' is content, and you're gonna find a lot of inspiration there. And the fourth thing I wanted to talk about is this. The order in which you do this actually matters, and make sure you spend enough time on the first and second step and really nail your sound, your branding, and your signature style, and actually have high quality production and sound before you start promoting. If you have a mediocre song on a YouTube beat and you sound like another clone, what can you really do with promotion? Like, no one's gonna listen to that anyway. So those 4 steps are like 80% of success, and then promotion is just amplifying the sound that is already there. And yeah, as always, hope you found this video valuable. If you liked it, let me know in the comments, and check out the first link in the description. I think I may be able to help you with everything we talked about today. And see you in the next one.